Alright, we'll see what happens with that. High CPU usage, yes. Let me see the task manager. And we're not maxing out. Let's check our memories. Google Chrome. Yeah, Google Chrome needs to go away. Don't run Chrome and that at the same time. System. Okay, 50% CPU, 26% memory. Good. Good. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Alright. 2, 3. Let's see if the music has arrived. Final type is unsupported. That's okay. Should be an unzipper for a phone. So let's go with the highest rated. Hey Karen, how we doing? Gonna see if we can get us some amazing tunes. As I downloaded Carol Casey's full, horror one. Away. Skip. How hard can it be? Go away. Yep, you can access those. What? Archive files. No files. What? Alright, well, maybe not today then. I thought I downloaded the files. I am looking forward to getting these guys cut out and primed. It has been a while. Alright, download the stuff. Don't try to open it and freaking open with that. Yes, open with that. Good. Alright. Great. Looks like things are working. Hopefully. At least I know that chat is working. And my new thing for the craft room seems to be working too, so everybody can see everybody else's chats. Because folks were mentioning that. Looks really small, and I could probably do with a change of color scheme. Message color. Let's make it like orange. Let's make it not orange because I can't see that. Let's make that yellow. Okay. Okay, good. Now everybody can see everybody's chats no matter what service they're watching on. Fantastic. Yay! I absolutely can, Melody. That is what I'm here for. What is your question? Hit me up with your questions. We are going to plug in the Dremel. Today's going to be a lot of cutting. A lot of cutting. You are not alone in that. They happen to my witch bottles as well. Generally, what I find, though, is that if you give them a quick shake-up, they are good enough to last an hour or so. I don't know about how yours are doing. I haven't found a fluid yet, unfortunately, that will do it. The only thing that might work that I've considered is if there's like the problem is I think that over time it'll still happen, but I thought if you got like some truly synthetic powder drink mix, because you can't give anything for any bacteria to munch on. There can't be any sugars or actual digestible compounds in there because it'll make gas and cause the bottle to potentially screw up over time. But I have not found a fluid yet that will stay lovingly cloudy and not screw up like that, sadly. Hello, Drip. Woohoo! Yeah, sorry I don't have a better answer for you, Melody. I really kind of hoped that there was something out there. And when I combed through various Halloween sources, I couldn't find anything either. I'm also wishing I could make that text yellow against the light background kind of stinks, but against the dark background, that's very, very good idea. And especially, there's plenty of like corks with wooden stopper type things on the top, and you can either decorate the wooden stopper or just have it be there and then just poof and do that and fill it. And honestly, to a certain extent, that's probably better in a regard for the fact that you don't have to carry all that liquid around, because we loaded up all of our witch bottles into a single tote, and with all that fluid in there, that is heavy. So I think you have the best solution there. Just get a wooden stopper affair and don't have to worry about it. The end of Halloween, if you use like a drink mix that's, you know, super synthetic and has that whitish texture, you can just pour it right out on the sidewalk and not worry about it. Put your empty bottles into whatever carrying case you got and know that you're golden. So yeah, I think you have the best solution right there. Absolute best solution. I am waiting for the rest of this Carl Casey music to download, and then we'll probably have a fair amount of time where we have to have volume off because we're going to do a lot of cutting today. The bottom of all three of these guys are coming off, and then we're going to start our painting. I would very much like to have some groovy tunes for that. Put this wire back over here. At some point we're going to vacuum this room because it's just getting bad. Oh yeah. That's what I wanted to do in the interim. whilst I'm waiting for the music. Surface sanding, perhaps. Especially on the areas where the glute ran down. And I found out that clay that I put on yesterday was nowhere near as smooth, because again, if you have old clay like that, the bacteria will get in there and make it considerably less awesome. The ultimate tool would be, of course, to have a drill with a sanding attachment. I agree. I like this design a lot better than the skinned ones. I think it's got a much more realistic look to it. And we'll see how it comes out when it's painted. I plan on grabbing the airbrush as well. So I think trying to hand line a lot of these indentations will just cause me to go absolutely bat-spit crazy over time. And I think, honestly, sanding with the smoothing clay really takes care of any issues there. This is coming out just fantastically. But today might be very dusty with all the cutting we're going to do. Nice. That's very nice. Excellent. And I have to remember, none of these are going to come out perfect, so heck with it. We'll save that for Pumpkin version 3 tutorial. Alright, do I have some Maestro Carl Casey music at last? Fight our way through the ads. I mean, no files. I'm not wasting time here. Okay, I should have a zip file. Just downloaded it. Well, that's disappointing. That's extremely disappointing. Alright. Not wasting time on it. Alright, let's do some warm-up cuts. And then we'll do the tutorial project. So, warm-up cut number 1. So much lining I have to cut off. Alright, I'm going to do the full cut around on him to see how well he sits. Alright, we're going mute, just so you guys don't have to listen to... Let's also unplug that. Plug that. Alright. See you on the other side of Crazy Eyes. Okay. Oh. Let's see what happened. Whew. Hey, Michelle. How we doing? Oh, my God. Dust. Dust! I am using... the sound is just to make sure people don't get overblasted by... whatchamacallit. But the bit is a... I've always called it a zip cut bit. Great for just cutting. And hello, Bruce. How we doing? Okay. So that is Crazy Eyes. And personally, I think that's a bit too much off the bottom. The nice thing is, he's not going anywhere. He is extremely well put. But I think I could have gotten the same result and left maybe another inch or two on there. I'd say maybe 1.5 inches, and he still would have been okay. And that's why I picked him first. So, alright, I kind of wish I had my COVID mask up here, because it's going to be a very dusty day. Oof. Well, I'm going to vacuum in here afterwards, so for now, I'm just going to send... Don't have a spare pail lying around. Hopefully I can unlimber this one. Woo. Good stuff, yeah. Nice, yeah, I use the same bit to cut the face out as well. That bit does a monstrously good job on all things mache. Glad you popped in with us, Bruce. Yep, I just wanted to get a little bit more work done. And my sculpting tools fell on the floor. There you go. Okay, so we don't need to take that much off. Let's do 1.5 inches. Okay. Alright. Measuring tool, piece of cardboard. Piece of cardboard, la la la. Do I have one in the dumpster here? Sadly. Oh. Got one that's just right down next to the pile here. Come here. It's got crud in it. Just need a tiny little piece of cardboard. Close enough. All right. Oh. I've got my Fisker scissors right here. Let's make ourselves a spacer. In fact, let's try to gauge this. Well, that piece is 1 inch, so. Let's make it 1.25 inches. 1/8 quarter. First pumpkin's always a good time. And those magnets are not enough to hold that duck. So there's our spacer. Maybe on a large pumpkin like this one, the loss wouldn't be as bad, but if I can save some pumpkin, I'd rather save some pumpkin. And it makes the bowls for holding them somewhat immaterial then. Careful on the face. Okay, and we'll just take that remaining clump of clay and use it in there, which will be awesome. And we'll check the 1.25 inch length before we do the tutorial pumpkin. We still have to witch wood up the rest of the stem. Alright. Going mute again for dremelage. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I put that big balancing chunk on the back of this one. Okay, that is relatively stable. Yes, a smaller bowl would also absolutely work. And I would love to give people like a more exact size. I'm so glad that didn't get dumped everywhere. But people will be making pumpkins of different sizes. So, kind of why I did crazy eyes first, and whatever he's got, he's got. A little more air over here. Clear this out. Oh, and in the future, I will be doing this with a dust mask. Alright. Let's take some of this old awful clay. Hey, Metro Dragon, how we doing? I forgot to get this wetted down correctly last time. That's what I thought. Good. In fact, it just needs a splish splash. Splish splash, mishmash. And it's reconstituted. Woo! Doing 3, but finishing 4. We have the proto of the original beach ball style pumpkin as well. We will be able to be finished. That should be okay back there. Just take this hyper disgusting old clay and using it to patch this unclayed area. And it can be as awful and unsmooth as it wants because nobody's going to see it. How we going, Bruce? We'll catch you around. It's good because you get to use up all of this last disgusting clay. There's also a spot back there. How much of a rock does that give it? stuff. Let's use the stuff. No, I stopped using the starch. I couldn't find any noticeable effect that it had in the grand structure of things, and consequently, it's like, why am I taking the time to boil this stuff up and pour it in if there's not some definitive gain to that? Thanks, Jace. There's a lot of haunters out there who do really great stuff, though. A lot of cool folks who do really cool stuff. Alright, let's do a quick smooth down. I am smoothing, apart from the fact that these days it feels wrong to not smooth a project. I'm debating whether I should call this the advanced pumpkin in the tutorial, if the methodology is more complex than the old ones. The old ones are just stuffed bag. I don't typically worry about subs as well, because, I mean, if this were my job, I'd be more concerned, but I'm a biologist, well, I should say these days I'm a science teacher, so that's my job, this is my hobby. And the nice thing about this is that the material will stay relevant over time. It's not like a video gamer where for their streams, if they are playing a game and then 3 years from now nobody's playing that game, nobody's watching their old streams. Where with crafting content, especially tutorials, it's a different story. Because people will often come back to check the instructions. This is effectively the same paper clay. The only thing I've done is I've taken out one thing, and that's the liquid starch. That's all. There is otherwise absolutely no difference in clay. Now I'll save up this last bit in case the big boy needs any kind of repairs. And we got to do him on the other camera. I have not done any of the old style in ages. Mostly because I kind of hit a critical mass of pumpkins for the haunt. I have more room now that I have the house, though, so I should be making more. But back when I had the apartment and was haunting somebody else's house, there was no need to go hyper super crazy because there's only so many pumpkins you can carry over to their house every year. Good. Flat spots are on there. Alright, it's time to do the showpiece. I will probably not do the other style of pumpkins again. I think these are far more artistically eye-catching. Far, far, far more. Let's get stuff. Let's see if we can take out some of the mouthpieces. Eyepieces. Already marked his bits. Oh. Now, if he's... I mean, he is almost half again as large as the other guys. I'm thinking I very well may take out that full base just so I know he's not going to roll, because he is significantly larger than they are. So let's grab this whole section. Camera. Oh, that's what we can do with that last bit of clay. Is we'll patch his stem hole. Oh, sorry, W. Chid, I missed your text there. I have a master's degree in teaching and a bachelor's degree in biology. Cha-cha-cha. And I just love teaching. It's awesome. Okay, that should be set. I'm a little worried about dust, but I think that camera lens is okay. Let's check our positioning for the camera. I'm gonna be bzzing. And even if I get into this pose, okay, good. Got to make sure everything is as visible as possible for a tutorial. Here we go. Alright, it's time to give the bottom a cutout. For doing that, I like to use a Dremel. My little unit here has got the extension leader on it. And I like to use one of these, what I call zip cut bits. They probably have another industrial name, but that's what I've always called them. They do a wonderful job at carving away, and you guys have already seen me use it on the face. But now we're about to go through and carve out the bottom section. I have done a couple of test bottomings on some other pumpkins here. This one I determined to be far too big, but this is a very large pumpkin, so I am going to cut out the entirety of the bowl shape, and I would say that if you are doing this, then just, if it's your only pumpkin, you may want to start with a smaller hole and then expand it based on stability. But if you've already been able to test it on a few other pumpkins, then go with your gut. But I think a larger open area on the base of this guy will make sure that his ability to roll around, should a gust of wind come up on Halloween night, go down to a 0. All right. Let's get carving. Alright, and now I can turn the volume back on. Yeah. Alright, and da-da-da-da. I like to... Yes, I was muted for the Dremel, because I don't like to have that blasting on. These days, I like to use these puck lights that provide not only an enormous amount of light, but I can choose their color with a tiny remote control that comes with them. They make these in battery powered, they make them in rechargeable formats, and they're just excellent. Absolutely excellent. They're originally intended to go on the bottom of people's pools, and they have, some of them have a tiny little weight in there, but it's 3 AAAs for this one. Of course, if you want the traditional fire effect, you can absolutely still use the little tea lights. There's no harm at all in using those guys. Oh. All right, let's clean up the dust. And again, we're gonna vacuum this place before I film next, because it is just oppressive. I should probably also put a dust warning in the tutorial. Oh, alright. I'm gonna go use your restroom real quick and then get back to it. See you all in just a sec. Okie dokie. I really hope this paint's still good. Oh. All right. Also get back to the monitoring screen so I can see what people are saying. Good. Start off by doing what you should never do with paint. Don't do that. Use a stir stick. That's the right way to do it. There we go. Let's pray my drywall is still liquid. It's been a little while. Yes. Very good stuff, Mithril. We'll catch you on the next run around. I would like to use a nice smallish brush. Time to go back to the dollar store and get some more brushes. I suppose that'll do. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And I found out my color powder is in the wrong. Well, there we go. Between those two brushes would be fine. Colors. Those go in there. There we go. Cool. Alright. Let's set this for let's make sure the painting is visible. Should be able to see that. That's drying. Can't be painted today. He's all set and he needs a bottom. Okay. Cool. I think we'll be alright. Alright, let's go back to recording. Scissors right here. There's that spare lump of clay. Okay. So earlier when we did the stem, we pushed a piece of wrapped up paper into the top here, and that piece is now hanging down inside. Let's get some light on it. There it is. And at this point, all we need to do is grab a pair of scissors, go in and hack that thing off. Okay, I lied. It may take more than scissors, particularly if you wrap that thing as well as I did. So there's part of it. There is, however, a much bigger stump than I am used to leaving, so I'm going to try to slash that off with an X-Acto. I enjoy getting as close as I can to the inside of the pumpkin, but if I can't get all the way down, I'm not going to lose my mind about it. Unfortunately, it is just paper. There may be there's some wire core in there left from mine, but still no problem. My main concern is I want to make sure that that leftover piece, which hopefully is visible there, but let's modify a light. That leftover bit there, I just want to make sure it doesn't turn into a wick for water to get up and inside. So I'm going to grab my nippers here, cut that wire off. There we go. And I have a tiny little piece of paper clay left here. So I'm going to just take that whole area and cover it over with clay. That clay will then get painted, and we're going to make sure that no moisture can use that as an entrance and wicking spot. So here's a little bit of paper clay. This doesn't require any smoothing, fortunately. Well, we're just going to cover that up. It will do its glorious paper clay hardening job, be completely invisible to the outside. And when it's painted, no moisture will be able to wick up the stem. I might also do a little bit of trimming here. And if you have spots around the bottom here where I have no clay, I'll probably take the very last bit of this little clay stump here and just fit it on here. So rather than putting any weight on paper, the weight goes onto a thicker clay chunk. But otherwise, for right now, I'm going to start painting. At least on the top, where I know there's no dust. And we're going to use some... I'm picking some Drylock Extreme Masonry Waterproofer. In the past, I used to throw a layer of varnish on there first. But this stuff is fine, it's excellent, and if you do it right, you might only need one coat. Your layer of waterproofing paranoia may exceed my waterproofing paranoia, and consequently, that's up to you. But I always worry about my pumpkins in any kind of wet environment, because sadly, they are still paper, and that means they are hygroscopic. So, let the painting commence. Woo. And thank you, Heather. Now that I'm not in the midst of filming, I can start yakking again. No problem. Yeah, we got the pumpkin 2.0 effectively here. And this is going to be the new style that I do all my pumpkins in from here on out. And the next tutorial is being filmed right now with this very pumpkin. So we're going to show everybody how to do these guys. Just kind of hoping that this paint acts as a bit of a filler as well. I'm not going to worry too much about the waterproofing on mine, just because these guys do not go out in the wind and rain for the month of October. So, I'm not going to sweat them too much. If they're exposed to any weather, they're exposed to a tiny casual drizzle, because that's all I'll let them sit outside for on a Halloween night. I do always somewhat dislike painting the stems though, because they're always the most quirky, convoluted shapes. They're the hardest to get all your paint in the nooks and crannies of. Yep, and there come the first drips. Drips and dribbles. Unfortunately, on the tutorial, this whole part will get fast forwarded. What time we got? It's 2:14. I have a Gloomhaven game to be at 4 p.m. This little sausage is almost done. I love it. My hand is so crampy though. Hey, Spooky Goose. How we doing? Yep, we're on to the painting phase. Bottom's all cut out. It's all filmed. I think, yeah. I like how this guy came out. And we'll see much more of it when we get to the detail painting phase. That'll be nice. Bit too much overhang to the eyes here, but whatever. Probably going to crank out the airbrush for this guy. Excellent. I know I'm really looking forward to the Halloween season. We've got to do our COVID setup again, but our COVID setup was still pretty good. I bought 2 new animatronics yesterday. Hopefully they will be all sorts of flavors of excellent. Really. Get under there. As far as colors go, this guy is going to be as kind of normal pumpkin as possible. Mostly because the whole point of doing them in this style is to make them look as much like real pumpkins as possible. So our boy here is going to be predominantly orange with probably some highlights for the runnels. Trying to make sure he stays in camera frame. Nice. Very cool. We experimented with possibly doing a slide, but our candy bags proved to be too wide to go down the 4-inch pipe, which was a little bit aggravating. But oh well. I like the idea of a catapult. I still want them to come into our haunt though, so I don't think I could use the same concept. Oh. Get the bulk of his exterior done now. And sometime during the week we will go and do the interior. I know our COVID stuff isn't really guidelines, it's just stuff we want to do for our trick-or-treaters, because we don't know which parents will be COVID alarmed and which really won't care, so we really want to be prepared for all eventualities. Very glad I'm wearing my smock right now. That is awesome, Cobwebs. Absolutely awesome. I've been wishing that our town and, quite frankly, the country would do that forever. Wish we'd done it years ago. Nice. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Saturday night trick-or-treating is the way to go. Awesome, Spooky. There's going to be practically a whole field of haunt stuff that you have to do, or consider at least, when you want to go for distance interactions. That might make a fun little study. Distance interactions versus close interactions. I know that I've started penning a little script for how to home haunting ideas and whatnot. And that'll be an upcoming video. I think Bruce had to bow out, but my buddy Don actually really enjoyed having a look at the video of his haunt and doing suggestions and critiques. He's been asking me several times, like, has anybody else sent us a video, or can we critique somebody else's haunt? So that's been fun. I'll have to come back up under that eye at some point. It's getting painted quickly, damn. That's about as far as I want to take him right now. Dry up. I still have enough room on the bottom to shove them around. Perfect. Woo. Beep. Good. That's our filming for today done. Now we can just concentrate on fun. Awesome. Yeah, Halloween's gonna be great this year. The only thing that can rain on our parade is rain. Alright. He's done for the day. Let's work on Crazy Eyes. Let's do a quick little... ooh, pardon. I meant to do some of this trimming on Crazy Eyes anyway. One little spot here, but it's not cutting off. We'll probably have to hit Crazy Eyes with some fluorescence in his eyes, and then we'll put him inside the garage where we have the big UV light. That way the craziness of the eyes will be enhanced. Yeah, that's not good. It's okay. Tooth edges are fine. Just... There we go. Painting smoothness. That's attached, and that's good. Weight distribution. Oh, that really loops back in and around, man. Just chunks off. Yeah, his eyes really came out quite well. I can't wait to get him on there. I'm indebted to that pumpkin that I saw online that had the spiral eyes for his concept. This. feels cold in there. If you feel cold around an area, there's a chance you may still have wet clay, and I don't like that. But I don't think I'll have a whole lot of option for him. Feels sturdy enough. Shoot, did I want to witchwood him? Bullets. Oh, shoot. Shoot. I do want to witchwood him. I want to finish witchwooding him. Crud. Will it really matter? Let's just go. And as much as I want to witchwood him, I don't think I'm going to get any extra Halloween stares at him for that. Or an extra millisecond of people's engagement time. I think his eyes and face are going to be the show. Nobody's going to be like, let's take a closer look at that stem. Oh my god. Is it worth the time, and more importantly the delay, since I'm painting right now? No. I have a feeling I will do a few more spiral-eyed guys over time, and I'll probably do a pumpkin sentinel with the same spiral eyes. One of the things I need to do downstairs, I think, is find a spot to put my pumpkin sentinels. Because they take a lot of work, so not exactly the project I want to leave in the basement all year long. I'm proud of my last pumpkin sentinel, and I want it to be up and on display. But he is a heavy bugger, so. Cute, they're supposed to be monstrous. Cute is one thing my hot stuff should never be accused of being. Where's that pair of nippers? Monstrous and horrifying. I agree, in the right light, crazy eyes could be construed as cute. But I definitely don't think my sentinels are cute. Or my sentinel. Who am I kidding? I've made one. I'd like to make more, but I made one. I should do a tutorial on those. We'll see. Hey, Melody. Smoothing paste. Da-da-da. Okay. Fortunately, smoothing paste doesn't require anything special. All that you do with it is when you're making your paper mache paste that will eventually go into making your paper mache clay, you put less water in it. So you make that stuff really, really thick, like thick pancake batter. And then you add your cellulose insulation fluff to that. So there really is no definitive recipe to it. It's just when you make your paste for your clay, you make it really, really, really thick. And then you, when you put it on there, you take some regular mache paste. So you've got your clay on there. You've placed it, you've sculpted it the way you wanted. You take a brush, put it in some regular mache paste that is not thick, and you paint over the clay, and it smooths it right out. Your effect will be plus or minus based on how thrashed the cellulose insulation is. So that is the general gist right now with the clay smoothing, and smoothing quality clay. I think these guys were like maybe a 14 inch and he was maybe a 22 generally. That's my guess. Because I think I have 22 inch and I've got some 14/16 inch beach balls. I got them both right here. So I should have a measuring tape. Measuring tape. All right, here is the big guys. Top to bottom, roughly 20 inches. Sometimes beach balls do not give that kind of measurement though. Sometimes they do it like a circumference measurement. But top to bottom, that's about a 20-inch beach ball. And the smaller guys, whoop, top to bottom, about 17 inches, roughly. So those are about the size of the beach balls we've used. Cool, Molly. I would say that when you order big beach balls, make sure they'll fit through your doors. I ordered a gigantic beach ball, and then I inflated it, then I brought it up to the door, and there was about, an inch of clearance in total, so a half inch on either side. And I thought, if I make a giant pumpkin out of this, it'll be beautiful. But I'll never get it out of the room. I use nothing on the inside to keep them from collapsing. With a 36-inch one, alright, 36-inch beach ball. The problem is, using a beach ball for that, you will not be able to put an internal, like, staff/tent pole reinforcement, because the beach ball is going to be in there. What I would do in that case is I would probably inflate my beach ball, and I would start my layering. So I'd probably start putting my paper on. I'd layer the snot out of it. I'd do 8-10 layers easily, just knowing that it's got to hold the load. And then I'd probably put the thin shell of, well, I'd draw my face on it, and I'd be very careful with the face, quite frankly, because if you have a lot of weight and you have the mouth gap, like you've got the mouth gap, but the mouth is, this whole area here has got to be held up by all the material around the back. You might consider on a 36-inch or something like that, connecting a tooth from the top to the bottom. Maybe have a little overlap or an overbite. Have a few connections, or like a goo where there's a slime connector from top to bottom in a few spots. You could put wires inside. You could put, wires around the whole thing, quite frankly. You could also consider doing a layer of like the fiberglass type material around the outside of the thing, because that'll hold up pretty well, I believe. And the other problem with putting wires on the inside is that it depends on the gauge of the wire. If it's wire like this and it's thin, this stuff is designed to be very, very malleable. It'll bend. So any stiffness you gain from it, you need that like 10, 12 gauge wire that is designed to be incredibly stiff. Fundamentally, I'd get my big thing, I'd layer it with like 10 layers of paper. I put my face on there, I'd construct my face such that there's some overlap. You could try that, Melanie. You definitely could try that. Yeah. I mean, it's not carrying that much weight, but the problem, of course, is not planning for weight and then getting through your project, and all of a sudden you've got sagging, you've got falling, you've got all the various problems, obviously. So quite frankly, I mean, that thing, 3 feet. Woo. So my guy's, my guy's about 16 inches across. 30s. Yeah. Step 1: make this thing outside, because I really think that won't go through your doorways. Or make it in the garage where you got a big door. If you try to make that thing in a craft room, you may very well find you can't get it out. So that's step 1. Step 2: paper clay the crap out of it. If you have some steel boning around the outside, or like some 12 gauge wire going around it, that probably isn't a bad idea. And make your face with a couple of support overlaps for the teeth. And then let that be your first one, and let that be your guide for future stuff. And then tell me everything you learned from it, so I can post it to other people who try to make giant or paper monsters. Or consider a lighter material. Consider some spray foam. Alan Hops just did a big thing on pool noodle pumpkins. I watched. It wasn't quite my thing, but he came out with an okay product. So, also look at possibly again fiberglass. I think there's more options for you. Or just flat out give it a go, because quite frankly, let's say the whole thing collapses. You've lost some time, some newspaper, some glue, some flour, and some cellulose crud, you know. Even if your project goes completely belly up, the most expensive thing you've lost is time. So I won't be making one of those just because I can't go out to the garage and film. I don't have a wire that goes that far for the computer. Smaller brush, smaller brush. So those are my ideas. If I was making something 36 inches across, I would also consider like a PVC tent pole reinforcement on the inside, but you couldn't do that until you'd made most of the layers for the outside. But again, you know, go for it. And by PVC tent pole, I mean internal PVC rod from the bottom to the top, holding up the mass. So we got almost 3 o'clock. Crannies here. Probably have to get that one from the inside. Ah, lovely. Dust from the cutting has made this something of a terrible painting area. There's always going to be spots here and this, but then again, I'm not worried about these guys. They're not spending a lot of outdoor time, so screw it. It's okay to miss spots. That's fine. You're not sitting out for a month. Just paint and enjoy and have fun. Classic problem. Trying to overdo your project. Don't worry. Be crafty. Next time we'll have some Carl Casey music. I'm gonna have to add him to my credits. Hey, Denise. Late than never? What? I did a half hour yesterday. I'm on today. Everything's working. I am a little worried that I'm not seeing any chatter from Twitch. So I don't know if the chat is working there. But it's possible I just don't have any Twitch viewers. That's not a surprise. It's going well, Nick. Going very well. My new job position is a wonder of happiness and excellence. And yeah, things are nice. And it's October. So it's almost impossible to be having a bad time being a haunter in October, unless you're one of those crazy haunters who tries to rush everything at the last minute and build projects last second. I'm not doing that. Yeah, that job shift really has helped my mood. It's been great, absolutely great. Mind you, I could still be doing my old job with perfect happiness as well, but that just the loss of students necessitating the change to the program really rattled me. So, in a much happier place. Okay, that's about as crazy eyes can get for the day. I don't like pressure in a classroom. If you're pressured in a classroom, then you did things wrong. It means you're not prepared. Your lesson things aren't lined up. You didn't think about how the students' reactions would be. If you're pressured in a classroom, my brain goes, I want to say, you're an incompetent teacher! But I'm not going to make that accusation. But my brain wants to. Okay. Alright, now let's grab the grandfather. Boy. Come here, old boy. I haven't worked on you in forever. Forever. You got your inside done. We just need your bottom. How big is your stem? Okay, good. Your stem doesn't interfere with that. So let's get you done. Oh, last minute projects. Oh, no. Not for Halloween. Not for me, at least. If these guys don't make it out, then they don't make it out this year. We're not gonna lose our minds because of it. I don't do pressure. What did I do differently with him? He's also still rigged to become a pumpkin sentinel. I think I did bigger snakes with him. Because his creases are all... They look like they're deeper, especially on the front of the face. We'll remember on the next pumpkin we do. Because I do like the deep creases on the facial region. That's alright. Who knows, maybe I'll just cut off this guy's bottom. And again, I did put a huge hole in the back of him to be a sentinel, so maybe he won't go out this year. And that's fine too. I think, yep, it is. This rear lid is right here. If I had to, I could reattach parts of that. Yeah, I'm not going to worry. But I will paint that today. Well, there you go. Sometimes inspiration strikes. I also have to remember that if I want him to be a pumpkin sentinel, I have to leave a spot around there for the clay to bond. Yeah, I should probably make him into a sentinel. I don't know what I want to do with him. And that's fun. Eight-foot foam board. What are you doing with an 8-foot foam board? That might have been a good idea. Always do the upper teeth when you do the bottom. Sometimes the iron goes too. Yeah, I get the inside a little bit more, but it just went around the hole there, so I'm not doing that today. Okay, that's good. I'm not trying to go nuts today. We'll go nuts some other time. Nice. Ah, that's right, the merry-go-round. I remember you showing that. You know, right now I kind of wish I hadn't cut this thing out the back. Wish I had left in a normal pumpkin to be displayed. Oh well. There's that. We just have to go around the edge. Which I'll do mostly. Yeah, decoration pushing is always a tough game. Cool. There we go. Great. Let everything dry up. Wow. Right. Ugh. Ew. First we'll water wash them. Well, head with the liquid spirits. Let's make sure. This isn't getting too gummed. Yeah, come here. Starting to get gummied. I also don't want gunky flecks flying into the paint, so I really wish I had a tiny vacuum cleaner up here. Okay. Let's just dry that up a little bit. And let's get the top can goo off. Not going to be using it for painting anyway. It's always like sludge. Okay. Go in the trash. Alrighty, that'll be it for today, gang. That's about all the painting we can safely do. Good and sealed because Drylock's expensive. Definitely not the cheapo paint. And we'll go work on these brushes degunked. Well, just time to go play some Gloomhaven this afternoon. And then next time we convene, we will go ahead and finish up the painting on the inside, start the skull face, get everybody mostly done. It's going to be great. Absolutely great. I love it. And then we'll start the final detailing, and then eventually we'll have a brand new tutorial out. It's going to be fantastic. Cool. Alright. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate having some folks to yak with as we do our stuff. Thanks, Nick. Take care, all. Have a happy Halloween time. If you like, incidentally, the new, it's here, commentary available. So you guys can see what everybody is saying on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and all those things. If you like that, just, I don't know, if you feel free to put up like a plus or something in the comments to let me know if you like or dislike this new text edition here. I'm also thinking I may shift it over to, God, it's tough to do this backwards. I may shift it over to this part of the screen where it's just looking at the board here and whatnot. So give me your opinions on that if you have an opinion on that. Thank you, Melody. Good. So, for anybody future watching this, apart from the viewers who are getting it, yeah, lots of opinions on that, just so I know if there's a spot in the screen you'd rather have it and whatnot. But yeah, it looks like people are enjoying being able to see everybody's comments. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Hope to see you very soon for more shenanigans. Happy October at the very least. And we'll catch y'all later on.